Hello, everyone. Welcome in. We are back for Sizeday Friday. It's been a hot minute, everyone, since we've done a Sizeday Friday, but we're here. We're here to talk about what makes all of us excited, happy, our brains to explode when we see certain things. We're here for the bigs and the smalls. I am your host, Santa Sangria, over on my Twitch, of course, as you're all here. And I'm ready to get into this. I hope you all are as well. We've got a few games to look at. I'm not going to be playing any. The way this will work is I'm going to be. I have a list of games to talk on, both bigs and smalls. Some we're going to show off through YouTube. We have some people have graciously sent me scenes in my Discord and on my Twitch, or my Twitch by Twitter. So we're gonna be showing off a few of those, talking about them, and really get into size in video games, I guess. I guess. But hello, how is everyone? As you've noticed, I turned off all my redeems except for the kind of basic ones, like self-care stuff. I don't want anything interrupting our stream. That's how we always do for Sizeday Friday. No uppies today, everyone. No uppies. But it doesn't mean you can't enjoy different size things currently. As you can see, you are sitting on my foot as I'm talking with you. You are looking directly at me through past the knee on my foot. So I hope you guys can enjoy that instead. Siege, thank you for the drink. We've got a definite good lineup to talk on. Definite good lineup. I'm gonna turn this down a bit more. Kind of want it to be more passive thing, so we don't that doesn't take over too much of the audio. So let's get started. Again, I have a list to look at. We're gonna be bouncing between bigs and smalls. We've got. I don't have a huge list of smalls. Sadly, there's not a Wikipedia for shrinking, but there is for giantess. Interestingly enough, I can't find one for giants, sadly, but there is one for giantess. So we're gonna go off of that list. Let me open up a YouTube that I can kind of bring up on the side here and really look at. I do want to look at a small game first. This game has definitely influenced me. I'm not sure about any of you, but this game absolutely influenced my brain. This was back in 2004, E3 2004, the old E3 before it was canned. This will not be audio will not play over on Twitch or off Twitch. It'll only be on YouTube, or it won't be on YouTube. It'll only be on Twitch. So if you're watching from YouTube, I'm sorry. Pikmin. We'll get to that one, but this was actually before Pikmin for me. Let me pause this. Full screen this. Let me add a window capture. Guys, in my opinion, the very first game that I saw that very heavily influenced size for me was The Legend of Zelda, The Minish Cap. Now, this came out after Pikmin, but I didn't really understand the whole Pikmin thing at first. I played it, but I didn't understand the thoughts. But this game Really brought out that Sizeday stuff. We're gonna watch this trailer here in 1 second. Bit, thank you for the drink in the stretch. Oh, this is a good game. If I recommend playing this game if you get the chance to now. It's a very good game. It plays very well. But here we go. So that was Minish Cap. That was the trailer, the release trailer for Minish Cap back when E3 was a thing. I did not know that. In my chat, Callie Sharky says, "Fun fact: Capcom is the one that made Minish Cap." I did not know that. Played it on a modded PSP back then. That's interesting. So Minish Cap is a Zelda game, of course, and it starts. The Zelda gets turned to stone, and we got to go save her, and we have to fix the Picori sword, which turns out to be the Four Sword in the future, and we meet our intrepid companion, our hat Elzo, who has the ability to use magic and can make us shrink us down to the size of the Minish, which are a small race of creatures, fairy-like creatures that are not actually, they don't really show up a lot to humans. Humans, adults specifically, can't see it, but they're usually spotted by children. Now, there's not a whole lot of sizey interaction. Animals, cats will attack you. Humans don't really step on you or anything like that. But in the manga for the Minish Cap, there is scenes where Link, being the young adolescent boy, sneaking peeks up skirts and stuff and nearly getting stepped on by our lovely Anju. If you don't know who Anju is, it's Zelda. She's usually a farmer dealing with the cuckoos or their chickens. Very good series. Read the manga, play the games. Honest to God, very, very good Zelda game. Now, I wanted to show that one off because that was a big influence of mine when I was younger. I played that game a lot. I played that game so much, I broke my Game Boy SP because rolling was faster than walking before you got the running shoes. So I would roll constantly everywhere, and it broke my right button, my shoulder button. That year was the first I tried being a bit more open about my size interests, so when Minish Cap got announced, I was super hyped. Ooh, that's good. Minish Cap is the best. That's one of my favorite Zelda villains. Vati is a great villain. Vati's a great villain. So I'm gonna look at this giant list, and I'm going to pick some, not all of them, because some of them it's more like you're a character that's created. You create this character to help build a world, but your character is very big compared to all the small people. I'm not gonna look at those. We're gonna look at like games with size in them. Um, it's been so many years I might have to replay it. I would do it. It does have it's very well animated, and it's a Game Boy Advance game. Let's see if I can find a video for this. We're not gonna watch all of these scenes, but I will watch some of them. The first on our giant list is actually Alice Madness Returns. Now, this is based off of Alice in Wonderland, which I'm sure you know has the drink me, which usually shrinks you, and then the eat me, which usually makes you large. I'm not gonna play all of them. I'm gonna click on this scene because this is the first kind of scene that comes out. I'm guessing. So yeah, we'll play this video. So this is the first scene in this game where she gets bigger. It's on a Switch. If you have Nintendo, there you go. If you have Switch, play Minish Cap. All right, here we go. So first scene where she gets big. There you go. So there are many different scenes apparently with her getting bigger, and you get to play as her big, and she's stepping and crushing enemies and stuff like that. If that's a thing, if you like that kind of style when it comes to being sized, there you go. That game, interestingly enough, it still looks, because it's a stylized game. It still looks like a very well animated game. It's very stylized, and I think that was what 360 era, PS3 360 era. So you could play that, and it doesn't look like a bad game. Correct, 360 era. All right, cool. I got it right. I don't know all. I've never played it myself. I should state. Never played Alice Spanish Returns. Um, Not really my game. I'm not actually a big fan of the Alice in Wonderland stuff. I think because as a child, the movie actually made me sick to watch it. But yeah, she shrinks most of the time though because of the main gameplay mechanic. Well, there you go. She actually shrinks most of the time. So if you're into both big and small, there's a big small game. There's a PC version too. You guys can get. So I'm going to talk on another big game. This is gonna have two in it. Because this game, the character in this game has two appearances. And it was kind of the very first Giantess game that was ever made, really. I'm sure most of you know what I'm about to bring on. Let me get a picture of this game as well. Oh, well, that's fine. We're just going to look at the picture rather than the video because I think I could actually get in trouble for that video game. I'm not sure, but here it is. This game, you might recognize the art a little bit. If not, this is Demolition Girl. This was kind of the very first game that ever really did giantess in it. Um, from what I was reading, first off, the game is about a girl. She was on vacation, and an alien comes to invade and shoots her with a beam, which makes her grow really big and just kind of goes destroying stuff because she has no control over herself. She is, for all intents and purposes, a monster, and the game was made not as a fetish game. It was actually made as a joke game. It was a comical game. You know, they really wanted to kind of like throw out a game that people will like look at and think this is ridiculous and play. But I'm sure this game also brought a lot of people into the size place back when it was made. Not a lot. I'm guessing this game helped bring out, and as you can tell, I mean, it was most probably based off of the Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. She throughout it, the game gets a little bit ridiculous. You know, you play as the military. You are in a helicopter and you are shooting at her and you're trying to get her to stop destroying stuff. You'd think at the name of Demolition Girl you would play as the girl, but not in this one. And then like throughout the stages, she gets different abilities, more powers. One of them being she actually gets the Kamehameha, which is the if you don't know what that is, which I hope most of you do, it is the main move of Goku in Dragon Ball. She it's definitely comical. Now I bring this game up because I said there's actually two games with her in it. Now her name is Rio Futaba. She has two games: Demolitionist Girl and a game called All Star Fighters, where she shows up not only as a playable character but as a final boss. Now this is one of those games where the main character is either 17 or 20, depends on the game, and just we're not super big on the underage stuff, but it is a game that I kind of wanted to bring up as it is something that, as a size person, at the time when this game was made, back in, oh god, when was this game released? I'm not sure. I can't tell you. Uh, 2004 as well. This was a 2004 game, Japan only. Um, I'm sure this one definitely brought people into the size fetish, especially at that time. Again, there was not a whole lot of size stuff going around outside of cartoons, and there were some older movies, but nothing new. This one kind of really, I think, brought it into video gaming as a whole. Just a little bit more on it. Her character itself has different, like the unlockables in that game are just different swimsuits. And her character has shown up in a lot of different games and fan art as well. I sure you know. Let me find it. I saw it earlier. Is it in the game section? The artist. I can't find it. Darn. There's an artist who actually took their original. The game itself. Uh, there's a well-known user among the Hispanic and Anglophones whose name is in the same as the game, the Diabesian. And in a lot of her illustrations, the Ria Futaba is the main character. Now, you might know them as Jenny on Twitter and stuff like that. She has done a lot of different size things. But yes, Jenny. Now let's go to a small game. We just kind of went through small and big to big. Let's do a small. This game just so happened to have won a game of the year in 2021. Now, the game itself doesn't involve shrinking itself, however, it does involve the main characters being smaller. They are dolls. Their minds, their presence itself gets transferred into dolls that their daughter had made. You play. It is called It Takes Two. I'm sure many of you have heard of it. It is a co-op game where it's kind of a game where two arguing parents have to work through their differences and set aside their issues to find and help their daughter because their daughter has I believe blames herself for a lot of the fighting, and the two of them work through themselves. They bring their marriage back. However, in order to do this, they are put into the bodies of dolls of their daughters, and they go through an entire ordeal, having to survive their lawn, their house, their garden, their attic, everything. And at the end of it, the two of them put aside their differences, realize how much they love each other and need each other, and they're able to make up as well as keep their daughter from running away, which she tried to do. They saved their marriage. I'm not going to show anything on it because I would rather, if you are interested in this game and you have a friend or a significant other that you want to play, go check out that game. I've watched playthroughs of it myself. It is a very sweet game. It's very cute. It's honest to God a great game to play with a significant other. Go play it with your significant other if you have one. Do it. There's no reason not to, unless you don't have the money and they don't have the time. But I recommend playing it with your SO. What game? It Takes Two. It Takes Two. It's a very, very good game. Now, we had two bigs in a row, so we'll do two smalls. Now, this one is a little definitely on the nose for what it is. I'm sure you've all heard of this. It's also a newer game, an Xbox. It was originally Xbox PC release. I don't think it's on anything else. It definitely is a it brings into light being small as well as the horrors of just a regular backyard. The game Grounded. The game Grounded is a group of kids who are shrunk in the backyard. They don't know what's going on and they have to survive. And they have to fix it, reverse their shrinking. And they go through a whole ordeal just in someone's backyard. They have to survive fighting off spiders, ants, all different sorts of bugs, bees, wasps, everything. You said I did. I said Xbox, and it's on PC. It is an Xbox and PC game, I believe. Yeah. I don't know much on the game myself. I've seen people play it. Callie brings up an interesting thing. If you enjoy Fallout New Vegas, which some people say that's one of their best Fallouts, Obsidian, the company that made New Vegas, also created Grounded. It's a survival game. It's a sandbox survival game. I believe it's a sandbox game, if that's the right term for it. Where it's a game similar to, say, Valheim is a good comparison, where you gather materials, you build armor, you build your houses and stuff like that. You survive. You are surviving in this world, and there is a quest. It's there. There is a quest to the game, and you have to search for it. Very similar to what's the forest. Very similar to the forest, where it is there. but you have to search and find it. There are bosses, huge bug prey mantises, massive spiders. I don't know if there's any non insect bosses, like if there are reptiles or amphibians. Um, Let me double check just to see. Bug, bug, bug. There's tadpoles. Those are definitely creatures. There's a big fish in Grounded. Okay. There's a fish. There's a crow. There's a crow. Uh, uh, uh. Spiders, spiders, spiders. Ladybug. Oh, infected ladybugs. Trying to see if there's any more. There's a koi fish. There's a mant, which is like a man ant creature. There are robotic like creatures too, tiny robot creatures. Yeah. So it's a very interesting game that uh really plays on being small, and not just the Pikmin style, which we'll get into that game here in a moment. I do want to talk about Pikmin. But let's do a big game. We've just done a few smalls. Let's check out a big game. Or a game with big in it. I want to find one that kind of focuses on being big just a little bit. It's actually a lot harder to find than you think, because mostly size is kind of like referenced in video games. You know what? I'll talk about this game because it's new. It is a newer game coming out as a mobile game. Uh, there is a new mobile game on its way. It might even be out. I don't think it's out just yet. But the game Haze Reverb. Haze Reverb. Now, let me see if I can find a description of Haze Reverb. Or at least a few images maybe I can show off. Um it is effectively it's a Giantess mecha game. It is a Giantess mecha game. It's a phone mobile game, of course, but the characters are very large. I mean, it itself is described as a Giantess mecha game. It's not just like, oh, they're just this or that. No, they themselves are very big. I will bring up a picture that is kind of like their, hey, this is coming to America. This is Haze Reverb, the game that is a Giantess mecha game. Uh, it's definitely a fetish game. It's not just a reference fetish, but it is a fetish. I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's a gotcha. So do be careful if it is something that you want to play. It is definitely not going to be something that's just free. There are different characters, all which are what they are. I wish I could show more about it, but it's not something I can just find pictures for, sadly. Moving on, we're gonna go to another short, small game. This one, we're gonna do some references for height, both big and small. This one is a fun party-like game. It's not really party with groups, but just a fun game in general. Katamari Damacy. You are a small little guy rolling a big ball. And as the more you gather with this ball, the bigger and bigger it gets. And eventually it is taking out buildings, taking out planes easily. You are just a massive creature. While you yourself, the little guy, doesn't get bigger, the ball itself gets bigger. This is a semi-sized thing, because again, you are, even though you're the guy, you play through the perspective of this giant ball behind it as it's being rolled. As well as the different characters in Katamari Damacy are big or small. As Paul said in my chat, the King of Cosmos is huge. Very good soundtrack if you like to listen to game music. Check it out. It is a big definition of size game. Just because the character you're playing as isn't super big or super small does not mean the game is not about size. For example, we're going to go into a little bit of the other side of size. We've talked about more fetishy stuff, but what about the terror of size? I'm sure many of you have heard the game Little Nightmares. You play as a young child trying to escape this horrific place. I can't even really describe it. As you are being hunted and chased by massive, they're adults, but they're like disfigured and almost just monsterfied. That, both 1 and 2, you play as little children, and you are helpless to these larger creatures, these larger people. It is definitely a more horror-esque style of size that you don't really get to see in much of anything, honestly. Size usually doesn't, it has the potential to be horror, and not just like gory horror, but actual horror. But it does have body horror-esque monster, you're being chased, you can't do much. I've never played it, but I've watched people play it. I would say check it out. Hi Pixel, hi Queen. So hi Rebel Red. So much nostalgia looking for size related games. There's a lot, honestly. And you know what? We'll get into this one finally. I mentioned it earlier. The game Pikmin 1 through 4. Now, it in itself is not there's so much size, there's giant people and tiny people. You play as a space alien who has crashed on the planet, and you are trying to either find your ship parts, find treasure, food, or rescue people. And during these times, you find out that you are on Earth, but very, very small. You are a space alien that is so tiny that you are dwarfed by strawberries. The native creatures on this planet that have evolved over the years of humanity no longer existing have taken over. They are 2 centimeters tall, very, very tiny, and honest to God, very good games. You play as these captains who as the name suggests, pick little carrot creatures known as Pikmin from the ground, and these little plant-like creatures are going around gathering items for you. They fight for you. They're your platoon. You have different colors, different abilities, different shapes and sizes for each Pikmin. I personally love Pikmin, the series itself. Fantastic games, very fun. And even like aside from the size stuff, if you're not into size or whatever, just check them out as games. It's not like it in itself is not like oh man, this is all about size. It's just a game, but it has size in it and it does it well. Not even that. You are so small in the game where there are so many different things. You in the fourth game, for example, you go into someone's house, a regular. Now, mind you, this is years after humanity has died out, but this house has children's blocks and stuff like that everywhere. They're set up like a child's play thing, like so. It really gets you interested about what happened to Earth. That people are extinct, but things are still so neat and clean that they're still around without things taking over. Check out Pikmin. Very good series. The setting is awesome. Exactly, Queen. We don't know. It's all very interesting. We don't know what's going on at this moment. For those in the VOD, Queen Kaiju Pixel says years after humanity died out might actually be a bit of lore that's up for question thanks to 4, since there's unspoiled food in said house. We just don't know what's going on yet. We'll have to see in future installments. Hopefully we get to learn a little bit more. Maybe there'll be DLC, maybe there won't be for 4. We don't know. Keep your eyes open though. Let's go into another big game, shall we? We've talked about a few small little games. I said before, and I'll say this again, if there's any size game that needs to be mentioned for size stuff, but I can't show or really go into it much, I will bring up. So I'm going to talk about them a little bit here. These ones are absolutely fetish bait. They're most of them are literally porn games. There is the game Gloomy Wishes. I actually really like this game a lot. I can't show anything on it. The story itself is you are an isekai character. You and 3 others are an isekai character. You go to this world, and you're a basic isekai character. You're doing stuff. You're saving the world, doing quests. But then you meet this girl, who's part dwarf, I believe, in the lore. So she's small. She's shorter than children, and she's picked on by her height by a lot of people, and she's told that she can't do a lot of stuff. She's an adult, and she's held back because of her height. She makes a wish, and in this world, a wish, as long as you truly believe it with all your heart, will come true. If there's a good wish, there's also a bad wish. The good wish was to bring these 4 characters who were isekai'd into this world. She had the bad wish. Her bad wish was she wished to be bigger than everyone in the town that she was living at. She wanted to be bigger, but not every wish goes the way you think it does. Overnight, after she went to bed, she woke up the next day. In a quick rush, she was late. She had been out late, and she rushed back to the town as fast as she could, but she could not see it anywhere. She was so late and so worried about it, she actually forgot to put on her clothes. She ran out in her underwear and unable to find the town, even when she went to where it should be at. The town, however, notices something strange. That the tree line is much further away than what it was, and they saw a large bird-like creature fly overhead. And then something larger than mountains appeared, stopping, getting closer and closer to their city. And it is the girl who now, as her wish stated, is much larger than the city itself. The city could easily fit in her hands if she could carry it away. I've only played the prologue, but it is fantastic. I recommend it. Uh, it is a ongoing game. I think there's only 3 chapters, including the prologue, currently out. Um, if you like Goblin Girls, there is, I believe, a Goblin Girl that also starts to use some of the small citizens as little bits of play for her. So if you enjoy that kind of stuff, check out Gloomy Wishes. That is both a big and small game, as you're the player character small, but there is a couple at this moment, giant women in it. Another game I played this on stream not long ago. Another RPG Maker game. Something's wrong with my world map. This is a fun little puzzle game where your character is trying to bring home the lovely potato or big like golden potato, whatever, a potato for her mother, and she decides to go on an adventure. And as she looks at her world map, she actually gets bigger. She gets massive. And there are 3 different sizes she can go through. There is the world map size, there is the global map size, and then there is the village size, where when she enters a village, she shrinks down to what the villagers would be, and then she can exit out a different way. And you are going and solving a puzzle to get to point A to point B, and then the different points to do it. This is a playable giantess character. It is just a puzzle game, nothing too big, nothing too crazy, but it was fun. Very cute, very good. I recommend it. It is called Something's Wrong with My World Map. Check it out if you can. I'm going to bring up these 2 ones, as I'm sure some of you have heard of. I know if you're into size, you probably have heard of one, and then some of you have probably heard of the other. How many of you in here have heard of the game Shrink High? 1 or 2? I'm sure many of you have. Shrink High was kind of I think that was one of my first, getting into the fetish itself. I never played it, but, that was the one that videos and pictures were all over the place. Shrink High is a very older, it's not very, I guess I can say very old now, because it was old. You are a detective, as you are trying to figure out the cases of disappearing people. And as you get closer and closer to the source, you end up caught into this as well. You got too close, and you are shrunk down to the size of a bug. And you have to deal with giant. I mean, this one is kind of a on the fence for a lot of size people, because again, it's dealing with, you are at a high school and you are shrunk, and it's sexual in a way, sexualizing it is sexualizing high school characters. It's an RPG, but it is very genre opening. I know there are a few. I think what Giantess World does not allow people to talk about Shrink High due to this. It's a very grind heavy game, and it's about trying to solve this mystery while also not getting sat on, stepped on, eaten, uh, like everything you could think of really kind of goes into this game. Now, the other game I was going to talk on, some of you might have heard of this one. This one is the artist is no is a very they're more of a gory kind of, not super gory but kind of gory. This is from the artist Uru. They made the game Size Matters. Now this is a title that's used for multiple games, and we'll get to the second one after this one because the second one actually can be talked on a bit more. Size Matters, the RPG Maker game, is you are a hero, and your hero party just defeated the Demon King, and you're all celebrating, and everything in life is good, and then the world shakes as a giant woman appears miles overhead of this kingdom, upset that these lowly insects dare say they killed the Demon King, who she is the Demon King. And she blows on this kingdom, and everyone in the kingdom dies. She just kind of purses her lips and slightly blows for her, but that was stronger than any hurricane they've ever dealt with. Any storm, they all perish. And the hero wakes up in front of the goddess who needs his help. So he accepts, and they all go into the demon world, which is more modern than what their world was, and also very big. As soon as you step through, you are attacked by what was the Demon King in your world. And a young girl, immediately steps on and crushes it like it was a bug. Because in that world, it is a bug. The Demon King in the human world was nothing but a roach in the demon world that fled to the human world because they were trying to survive these massive women. Size Matters is a game where it's an RPG game where you're trying to survive different size scenarios and to stop the evil Demon King from using the human realm as it's literally a fetish game, as sex objects to gain as much power as she can. Yeah, that's as much as I can go into. Can't show anything on it. It has a lot of really good scenes. There's a scene in there specifically that felt like it was targeted at me. I'm not gonna go into it, but it's too much, and it makes me too heated. Little Snatchers is another one. Again, a fetish game. I believe it's being remade. So it's unfinished, but it is being remade. But the Little Snatchers RPG game is being remade. So you could hopefully see that in the future and be replayed. That one got canceled, but another artist wants to remake it. Yes. So this one might be a little bit more unheard of. The concept of it is good, but the art of it upsets me a little, and I'll tell you why. It's not that the art's bad. It's being a 3D modeler myself and it bothering me. Who in here knows of the game Sword Art Online? Or the anime Sword Art Online? I have a. There is someone had based this Shrink game off of Sword Art called Shrink Art Online. And the game is a bunch of people went into a full dive VR MMORPG, and as you get in, they are basically told that it's boys versus girls. They if they die in the game, they die for real, and it's boys versus girls. And the boys are like, "Oh, this is easy. We're guys. We know video games." The guys go out, they're fighting monsters and leveling up, but no one sees any of the girls until the guys, these groups of guys who are leveling climb up this massive wall, and turns out they are just in grass. That the forest that they were fighting in was just a bit of grass. As they see the females who are walking around, they're not dressed up in it, they're wearing normal clothes. And they're just walking. They're like, it's super easy to level. I don't know, like, how are we going to lose at this? And that's because the ladies are accidentally stepping on men. And all the experience that a man had accumulated when they step on, they get it all instantly. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with the art itself for this game. It is a Koikatsu 3D game. Or the game itself is an RPG Maker, but a lot of the stuff is in Koikatsu. It's made through Koikatsu. Koikatsu itself doesn't bother me, except for a lot of the time they don't change head shapes, and they kind of keep the base Koikatsu-y look. I'm not into that myself because, again, I'm a 3D artist, and I also played in Koikatsu a lot before I started doing Vroid. My issue is, hey, change the head shapes. It doesn't take much, and it actually will make your art go from, like, this is like a 6 or a 7 to, it can bump it up, maybe like a 5 or 6. It can bump it up massively to a different level. It doesn't take much. And no offense to any Koikatsu artists in my chat. I know Panda, for example, you are a Koikatsu artist. This is all just a personal opinion on myself. The game, I played a little bit of it. It is a very interesting game. There are different size scenarios. Mostly it's guys getting stepped on or other scenarios. Different, oh, this person accidentally stepped on or anything. As Callie said, most size games are Cruel Giantess. So it's really hard to kind of just go with it, Um, not enough, not a lot of RPG Maker size games where there's multiple, like, options. Like if there's a cruel one or a kind one. I think personally, if I made my own RPG Maker with the Sangria stuff, I would have different options to play through, different stories. There might be cruel. There also might not be cruel. There would be kind and stuff like that. It would be different. So we're gonna go back into a giant, where I guess because we're kind of both. There is a game. I'm sure. Let me bring up a trailer for this one. This one's gonna be a little odd. One's an older one still. How old is this game? Let's see. 2001. This game is a lot older than what I thought it was going to be. Turn on my headset again. See if I can find the trailer to this one and not a let's play. Alright. I remember this trailer, seeing it for the first time. Guys, this is Mr. Mosquito. and we will watch the trailer here. I remember this when that trailer when it first came out. You play as a mosquito that is going around biting and sucking the blood of people. This might actually, I don't know. And it's not just giantess. There's giants. You know, the dad here. There's the the girl, the mom, the dad, and you are flying around, biting and sucking the blood as fast as you can. It does have a sequel. You are correct. See if I can find a trailer for the sequel. Um, I'm just seeing. I guess we'll have to watch the gameplay for two. Here's two. What are you looking at? This is a game called Mr. Mosquito. You play as a mosquito and you fly around. Oh, this is the same one. This is the exact same one. This said game. No. Well, Mr. Mosquito had a sequel called Mr. Mosquito 2 Let's Go to Hawaii, where you are going after a family. It's literally the same game, it's just different characters now. Um, and there is a level where if you do everything right, it's like the end game level. It's like the big final one where you are sucking the blood out of like the girl in this game who is taking a bath. Which I think is also one in the first game as well. It's funny though that your character is called Mr. Mosquito. Mosquitoes are all mosquitoes that bite are female and not male. Of course, Japan, yes. That might have also been one of the earliest size games. Thank you for the stretch in the drink, four-sided hexagon. If you would like to play that game, apparently it was re-released on PS4 and PS5. So you can try playing it. It was a PS2 originally. We're back from the ad break. I apologize for talking on during it. We've got quite a few really big games to talk on. We're gonna go on. This one was brought up like 3 or 4 different times. So I have to play this one for you all. Guys, who all here likes foxes and raccoons and other animals? Because Sly Cooper 3 specifically, Honor Among Thieves, has a interesting boss. I have the whole cutscene playlist here. Roger applying White Birth. Oh my god. I never played a Sly Cooper game. Fun fact. I recommend all of them but 4. Okay. And here it is, everyone. Now, this is an interesting one. This is an interesting one where she gets bigger throughout the encounter. It is a multi-stage encounter where she just keeps getting bigger. First game that's mostly platformer, but they changed the gameplay to be more sneaky thief-like for the later games. See, I'm a big platformer person. So it actually is interesting. I've never played this game. Now I'm going to skip around here a little bit. So you can see like how big she is at this point, where she's chasing Sly. But that's not the only size she has. Now, you don't see how big she is here, except through different. Yeah, you can see here, he doesn't really show it, but it's kind of the shaky. You see the shadows throughout here. She got bigger. And there she is. Now, I believe they can't. So she is this big boss, and you literally climb her. You are Shadow of the Colossusing her to get up and take off this mask that made her big. Now, I don't want to show off the full thing. I can't remember if she just goes instantly, gets shrunk. She does. She just kind of gets very small very fast. There you go. So that's the Sly Cooper one. Not big enough. I'm with you, June. But enough, there was a time trial mode for each boss, and people were figuring out speedrunning tricks to climb her fast enough. That's funny. That's a very funny speedrunning thing. I'm sure this scene also changed a lot of people in multiple ways. I'm sure the Sly Cooper games helped bring out a lot of the furry fan base as well as that scene. But that's the only size scene in the Sly Cooper series. That was brought up like twice in my Twitter, twice on Sizeday Friday post in my Discord. Um, there's quite a bit of games in here. Um, Baldur's Gate 3. We're gonna bring up some like honorable mentions really fast. Baldur's Gate 3 has an enlarge/reduce spell. It's just a spell you can cast. It's not like super crazy, but it is a thing in there. You can make yourself bigger and others smaller, or yourself smaller and others bigger. This game here is called Bramble. Has giant trolls and a bunch of other giants in the game that are trying to eat you. Um, Zenless Zone Zero has a character named. There's the end boss. I'm trying to read this post. The giant lady is Nineveh, the in-game boss who's big. She doesn't fit on the screen when attacking her, so it's Hard to get her true scale, but she's so she's so big that she is too big. Too big. Lost Ark has an entire scene where you are on top of a table, being very, very, very small, trying to survive giant bugs, some birds, I think maybe a rat or two. That Lost Ark is an MMORPG. It is a dungeon specifically, so you could replay dungeons, I believe, in it maybe. Um, Noble Phantasm has some side stuff with the Fate Grand Order stuff. For those who knows Fate Grand Order, I'm sure you've heard of the character Protean. I think King Protean, who's a giant. There's a lot of side stuff. This game was brought up, called a game called Chibi Robo, where you are a very small robot who is a tiny cleaning helping robot to take care of a giant mother, father, and daughter. You know what? I don't know this game, so I want to see if I can find a trailer for it. Chibi Robo trailer. Alright, I found the trailer for it. You are a 10 centimeter tall robot. Still bigger than Olimar. It looks cute though. This looks very cute. I like that he carries around this plug. Ah, toothbrush to clean. It gives me just cleaning simulator game vibes, but you are small. Just don't play the 3DS version, okay? Any reason why, Callie? This is a game released on GameCube, by the way, everyone, so it is not an easy game to play. Oh, is it? Okay. He loads that one. Oh, fun. Your life bar is your battery power, so you need to plug in to power it up. Ah. Oh, aliens. Very cute. Yeah, very, very cute. We don't want to watch that. I'm that I feel like games like that back in the day were being released at such a bad time. Because I feel like if games like that now were released, it would probably like if I guess it would have to be more updated and stuff. But if the concepts of them were released nowadays where people have gotten into size stuff more, they probably would have done better. Which is a little sad. But they also probably wouldn't be, games for kids. They would most likely be adult games. Next one. Honorable mention for small. South Park: The Stick of Truth. If you know that game at all, you know the scene I'm talking about. About 2/3 into the game, your character is shrunk. And you are I don't know fully on it, but you're basically on top of a bed as your parents come in and have sex, and it is a quick time event to not get crushed by your dad's balls. That is the Stick of Truth size game. That is what they did. Oh god, oh god. Yep, South Park has that. Oh, what? I zoned out. And moving on. Uh, Another game. Now I don't know much on this one. I've only just learned about it right before starting stream. This game is called Supraland. Supraland. It's a Metroidvania style game where you are a stickman in a sandbox and you see people like in the background and stuff walking around or looking in on the sandbox and playing and stuff like that. Very interesting. Very interesting. I've never heard of that until today. But like the background stuff is really cool. I will type that out for those people who would like to check it out. This is on Switch, PS4, and Steam if you would like to check it out. Fun fact, the Chibi Robo creator is making a new version of the game because he wants to make a new one, but can't make a new Chibi Robo, so he made Co-Robo. Co-Robo? Look at it. Co-Robo. Oh, it's so cute. Cute. I hope it does well. I hope it does well. Let's look for another big game. A few games that have big stuff in it. Um, a lot of combat, a lot of fighting games have size stuff in it. Uh, Mortal Kombat 11 has the character Cetrion. Her fatality, where she grows so big, she's bigger than the planet itself, and steps on her opponent as her fatality. Devora's ending has her altering time and having humans becoming bug size. It's also Mortal Kombat 11. My Hero Academia 1's Justice 2, Cammy's ultimate moves makes her appear giant, but it's a mirage. Akira's Wrath. That one is actually a very big one. I think I do plan on showing that one off. I wanted to bring up that one. Some other honorable mentions for size stuff in games. World of Warcraft. And not just because they have potions and stuff like that to make you big or small. There's an entire dungeon where you shrink and you have to fight not the whole dungeon, but a part of that dungeon where you shrink down and you have to fight regular sized animals. And you are small. There's potions to make you big or small. There's toys to make you big or small. It definitely has a lot of size stuff. There's characters that are big or small. In order for them to do bosses, big or small, as well as we'll do Final Fantasy 14. Specifically, oh, what's her name? Hold on, FF14. Uh, Final Fantasy 14, the Lakshmi fight. The Lakshmi fight, you are fighting a giant woman who literally has a move where if you don't have a grabbable object on your person and activate it, she grabs your soul and pulls it into her bosom and you will die. uh she is the Lady of Bliss, and she soul wars you. She takes your soul and shoves it between her tits, and that's how you die. Try to think of some other quick honorable mentions. There was another. Hold on. Oh, Fable 3, I think. Fable 3. Is it Fable 3? Or is it Fable 2? It's Fable 3. In Fable 3, there is a quest. I don't like Fable 3, but there is a quest called The Game where you are asked to come and help these people play their game, basically. And you meet up with these people, and these mages shrink you down, and you become their D&D character, basically. And as you are there to rescue the princess, and as you go through, you have the players who are normal sized people at this time looking down at you, playing the game and talking and discussing. I remember going through this scene, uh, my first time playing, and it was definitely a good fun reaction to the game. Um, it's fun. That's a fun cut quest. Literally, you could just play that quest and never touch Fable 3 again, and you'll be good. I'm not a big fan of Fable 3. Let's see. Other games with size. Oh, it's King Protera that's the fate thing. King Protera. Again, Injustice 2, another honorable mention. The character Adam, his super move has him shrink down, and he attacks his opponent by punching them, lifting them, slamming them before growing giant, and then crushing them with his fist. Uh, um, there is the game I Was an Atomic Mutant. It's a PC game published by THQ. The game has you play as one of four monsters from the B movie era and destroy areas, one of which being the She Beast, a 50-foot woman. Now, this game also going to bring up. It's a honorable mention for size. This one's more giant, but I'm not going to show the game because it could cause some issues. Squeaker7, thank you for the follow. Welcome to being one of my little cuties. Hope you're having a fantastic night. Let me. Is it? There's a game called Kill It with Fire 2. Now, as the name suggests, you are a pest exterminator killing spiders. That's why I'm not going to show it. I know there are people who are not big into spiders. I bring this one up because there is a level in the game where you, as the pest exterminators, are brought into a city, and you're basically a giant monster killing the insect, the arachnid city. This is a city of spiders, and it's like imagine going into New York, but it's a bunch of spiders who are the people. And you're going around and you're killing them all, crushing, burning them, using all the different stuff. I wanted to bring that one up because like objectives of like grabbing school buses and throwing them. There's one where it's it's it for a game about killing spiders. It's very creative for it. You unlock a Godzilla atomic fire breath ability from that one. There's an old X-Men arcade game that had a big guy that was support and would hit your opponent. Oh, interesting. Okay. Um, looking for some more. Parappa the Rappa 2, there is a level where Parappa, PJ Barry, Parappa's dad, and Sunny Funny's dad accidentally shrink by a shrink ray, where Lammy, Catty Cat, and Masan arrive and almost step on them. Uh, their Persona 5 has a boss fight. Pokemon, interestingly enough, does have a size scene in it in the game. Not talking about the alphas or Dynamax, but in Pokemon Black and White 2, there is a thing where it's basically a studio where you're filming movies and stuff like that. And one of them is literally called Giant Woman, which is based off Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. I'll show the picture of this one because it's cute. Mind you, Pokemon usually is like, all right, size stuff is a really hard. Like, I don't know if this is an okay thing because a lot of the characters are children. This one's fine because the in-game character who was a giant is an adult. You actively fight her feet. You are a superhero trying to stop her. Here she is, bottom left, and then you are fighting her legs and feet. As well as there are different episodes of the anime. Um, there's the Sabrina who shrunk turned people into dolls and shrinking his friends and all of that. Um, apparently, Sun and Moon has an episode where they shrink people. I didn't know that, interestingly enough. Uh, Ash, Lily become tiny and are interacting with others who are not tiny. Huh. And then, of course, all of the fucking crazy stuff with it. Other games that have size relations to it. The most recent one, Disgaea, I think Disgaea 6? 7? Disgaea 7 has an entire mechanic where you just get really fucking huge. And every character can do this. That being said, there are a bunch of summons in older Disgaea games that are giants, as well as the game Prinny 2, where this lady is very big. She's reading her book. And then Etna is very big. Interesting. Oh, yes, that one interesting. The giant woman changes depending on character's gender. If you're a female, she's your sister. If you're a boy, she's your girlfriend. Most recent one I heard was of the new girl basically went on full on Alice in Wonderland. Interesting. Ban that person. There we go. Princess Peach. Princess Peach's Showtime has a giantess fight. See if I can find that scene. Those are okay. Because I mean, you can never go wrong with a giant peach, right? Had a special where one of the VTubers gets biggest steps on the enemy. Oh, there you go. For those who are interested in Peach, Princess Peach's Showtime, and are interested in size, here is a one where they make her big. Welcome in, Klein. This is very Ultraman coded. This is very Ultraman coded. Very Ultraman, yeah. Definitely Ultraman vibes from this. Even the noises she's making is Ultraman like. I wish she did the Ultraman pose when she got bigger. Oh, there it is. There is the Ultra. That's literally an Ultraman pose. This right here, Ultraman. So there's a small scene in this game with size, as well as June said in the chat. Mario is filled with giants. Um, let's see. There is the Mega Mushroom in Super Mario World and 3D World for Peach and Rosalina can get super big. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, Rosalina is literally at the end of it massive. There's also Federation Force with its absolutely wasted potential of a giant Samus, like utterly wasted. She is a morph ball the entire time. Oh, that is sad. Very wasted. Mario Bros. Wonder, giant. Super Smash Brothers. You know what? Since we're on the thing of Peach, here you guys go. The mushroom in Smash Brothers making Peach massive enough that she could probably be the stage itself. You know, Smash Brothers mod with Samus as the stage win. Um, Bowser's Fury, where Mario gets big to fight Giant Bowser. Shantae, half genie hero, the Giga Mermaid. I'm sure many fans of the Shantae series know of this one. Here she is, the Giga Mermaid. She is absolutely a fan of that series. I actually think she is, outside of Shantae herself, she is probably the second most fan arted character of that series. Video out there, people of bigger people love modding. Yes, people do love modding size. Yep, Kala Maria from Cuphead. There's a few Cuphead monsters that are bosses that are giant. Um, Esther Winchester, the Queen. Cave Story has a bit where you put a tiny dude in your inventory, but that's a bit of a stretch. No, that could be. I mean, you're putting someone in your inventory. It's a reference of size, at least. It's a reference. Let's see. I mean, Kingdom Hearts has a few sizey stuff with the giant bosses like Ursula. Um, then Birth by Sleep, literally in the Cinderella world, you are the size of a mouse when you talk with Cinderella. You're just very small. Kid Icarus Uprising has bosses with giants in them. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, or just any Legend of Zelda that has the Great Fairy in it. Usually the Great Fairy is massive. Discounting the Wind Waker one, who is a child. One of the old Ashante games, there's a giant drooling lizard that girls are swimming in the drool. There's one. Giant drooling lizard, girls are swimming in the drool. Kid Icarus Uprising is just a very good game. I've never played it, but I'll take your word. What about this? This one's an honorable mention. In fact, let's get the commercial for this and show it off. Because the honorable mention is specifically the trailer for this game. It is an EA game. Very, very old game. I'm sure you'll know it's old when you see this logo. This is the old EA logo, everyone. This is an official commercial. This is for Need for Speed Underground 2. This is the trailer. Can you tell what they're driving on? Santa's Mario Kart level win. Yeah, right? The Need for Speed Underground 2 official trailer. That is the official trailer. It's just a weird colored road twitch. Look, it's fine. It's an official trailer for a game. That was on TV, everyone. That was played on TV. It should be fine. I saw that when I was like 10 or something. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, uh, um, Anything other than grounded that people are saying? Finished Cap talked about that one. Little Big Planet. I can't find. Apparently, the new Hot Wheels game is small. Honkai Star Rail, thank you, June. The has a boss, Fantilia, where you are very small and you're basically smacking her chest around when you fight her, and then she has a big attack where she kind of just blows up the planet. Let's see. Does Gigabash count? Gigabash, kinda ish. It's you're playing as kaiju. It's more of a kaiju fighting game. If there was actual like feeling of size in that game, yeah, you destroy buildings and stuff. We'll go with it. Resident Evil Village or Resident Evil 8. Everyone knows Dimitrescu, who I think is the reason why Giantess kind of became more in the known, more of a known thing. I think it she when she was released in the trailer and people were like, "Oh my god, giant mommy." Everyone was like, "Yeah. Yeah, giantess." So I think she is the reason why it's become more prominent. That being stepped on by her high heels. Yep. The whole her whole coming forward and being big is I think the that. Um Toy Story 3 has a scene in the PS2 and PSP version where the army men are trying to avoid being spotted by Andy's mom while she's vacuuming. So there's that. Saints Row, specifically, so 2 has in-game codes that can make you giant, shrink, or shrink everyone else around you. Saints Row the Third has a mode known as the Horde mode, but it's spelled like whore. where you fight hordes of enemies, including some where either you or the enemy are shrunk or giant, as well as there are three challenges featured battles dealing with larger women, self-conscious ankle biters, and she's big boned. And then Saints Row 4, one of the power-ups in the game is called the Shrink Stop, which when used shrinks everyone around you, allowing you to step on them. Yeah, Saints Row is a pretty crazy game. And then the last one on this list is a level in WarioWare Move It. It is Ashley's level specifically, where Red eats strange berries which cause him to shrink. And here's a picture of Ashley being, or the Red being smaller than Ashley. Just a few cute ones. I'm trying to look up some more small size. Okay, here it is. This game, it is called Inch by Inch. Now, it actually might be something I play at some point because it looks interesting. Uh, Ashley has a lot of siziness that happens in her levels in different games. Oh, interesting. I don't know anything about WarioWare. Inch by Inch is a game where you play as a scientist who keeps getting smaller and must finish some concoction before you get too small to navigate your lab. So it's one of those games where you are have to be fast and make the concoction to stop yourself. Yeah, that famous game. Yep. So there's that one. Very interesting. Um, trying to find some more like honorable mentions in the game in games. Let me check out my Twitter. Sandus's version of inch by inch would be mile by mile. It's true. Foot by foot. It does not look like anyone. I've already mentioned those ones. Uh, uh, uh. There is a game called Figure Fantasy. It is a turn-based MMORPG mobile game where I'm guessing it's you. The figures are the characters, and it has RNG and probably gotcha stuff to it. Oh goodness, what's the Dante's Inferno? Has a boss. You are fighting her, and she's massive. She's a giantess, if you could ever see. Um, where she is. For I would show it, but literally, she is a bare-breasted giant lady in the background as you are like she's climbing this tower. Demon lady. I can't show it. If I were playing the game, it would show. It'd be okay, but I'm not playing the game, and I would get in trouble for it. But that seems like most video game size. Is there any video games? Oh, this I do want to show this one off. It was brought up in chat. I will in a moment. Little Red, hello, Tiger. So this is Ashura's Wrath. Ashura's Wrath. He's very large. Senran Kagura, the character Hibiki. Okay. Yeah, absolute giga size. Absolute giga size right here. You want to talk about very large? This guy. This is probably a good like giga size in a game and done very well. Look at this guy. He's huge. I just got size of video games. What games have been discussed? Most, honestly, a lot of them. Most, I feel like most size games have by now. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to find a good list. This is absolute size. Like, it's amazing sense of scale. Like, doesn't make sense of scale, but yeah. This guy's stream is just a yeah. No, the voice actor for Ashura is ridiculously good. He's just too mad to die. Yeah, Liam O'Brien's so fucking good. He's one of my favorite voice actors. When you're too angry to die, it's all this scene really is. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but like in a good way. Yeah, imagine getting your finger punched so hard you explode. Yeah, all right, I'll play the rest of it. There you go, guys. All right. Talking on some games that was said earlier. Momodora. Let me look this up. Ba-ba-ba. Oh, I know. I've heard of this game. I actually want to play this game. I didn't know there was size in this game. First, second boss is giant, just like other games in the series have something similar. Okay. Yeah, I've looked at that game, and it's been one that's been on my list of like I want to play it. Lorette, thank you for the drink, and Tiger, thank you for the stretch. And then he fights with no arms. I heard Bombadora is actually pretty damn good. It looks awesome. It looks fantastic. Um, where was it? I missed. Does the specific character? I'm gonna look this up. Senran Kagura Hibiki, or is it Hibari? Is it Hibiki or is it another character? You must try to avoid Santa sitting on you. That would be a fun one. There, it's hard to look up Senran Kagura Giantess without getting the porn that people have made of that one. Is Hibari? Okay, so Hibari. Hibari. Oh, spelled that wrong. I mean, for those who don't know what Senran Kagura is, I don't know what it is. I just know of a Senran Kagura. I didn't know. Is this just her power? I know that there's an entire like anime scene of girl who got giant. Is that just her? Is that like her power or something? Is that just what she can do? Yes, it does look like she could just get really big for some reason. For those who don't know, Senran Kagura is just what if we made a character? What if we made a series that is not porn, but it's so close to porn you can't tell the difference? It's one of her ninja arts. So there you go. You see, one girl has the power to make herself into a giantess, but in the beach splash, when another girl gets the power for some reason. Okay, booby ninjas. That's yeah, booby ninjas. It's kind of like Dead or Alive. That the Dead or Alive beach volleyball specifically. It's like it. This is how do we sell not porn to people? Here we go. What was the one that you mentioned earlier? Galgun Pixies, absolutely size base. Galgun Pixies is a game where pixies are literally shooting girls with their. Are they like love guns? Hold on. Might be make if I'm not back in call in 5. Call 911. I don't know how long I'm gonna be on Hexa, but okay. In most of their games, their outfits always take battle damage. Yep. Pheromone guns? Okay, yeah, there it is then. Can't show it, I'm sure. As those games are very what's the term? Not Twitch appropriate. Maybe. Let me look. Hold on. I'm gonna look this up. No, the Gal guns are allowed on here. What about is that one specifically? Good night, Kara. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm probably actually going to end soon. Uh, as we've talked a lot about size-based stuff in games, so I'm going to show off the little bit of art that we got earlier. If I can find my post. We got one piece of art, it looks like two maybe. We've got a few. We've got a few. So I'm going to show off these pieces. And I hope you're ready. So, this piece is from Wilson the Third on Twitter. Wilson the Third dozen today at dozen today, and they did a giantess of Kana from Monster Hunter Stories 2. If you've ever played Monster Hunter Stories 2, you'll enjoy this. RPG Maker called Verse Giantess was a Japanese language game, usually a group of heroes helping or battling various giantess that grow quite massive. Well, there you go. There's another one. RPG Maker games have a lot. There's a lot of those that are all size stuff. There's too many to count. But here is the art. That's not the art. Give me a second to open it up in the right thing. Here it is. Uh, very nice boobie proportion. We enjoy it. We enjoy it. And I believe that is, I can never remember the monsters all that well. Once they get to a certain point, they can't remember them. But the small one on her finger. How Monster Hunter game I've played. Play Monster Hunter Stories 2. It's a fun game. It's not giantessy or anything, but it's a good story. Welcome back, Hexa. Wilson, awesome picture. Love it. I'm gonna actually even. We love our big booby. We love our big boobies. And to show off the next two. The first one, the first two of this one. So this is posted by Caravan, but these two are by the art that they showed are different artists. The first one, the first two are done by Mothmaid over on Twitter. Kara here is about to be eaten by Mothmaid. Be careful. You might be a dinosaur, but in this case, you're the one that's about to get chowed down. And here's another one. This one's interesting because clearly she's enjoying it. And then the last one that they got done is by Raichun Pikachu. You might recognize someone. I don't know who though. I have no idea who this is. None at all. Yeah, this was a. I remember when you got this picture. It was a great picture. Thank you so much for that, as well as thank you so much for sharing these art of your character being eaten or sat on. Some big unknown cutie pie. Yeah, I've never heard of him. Kind of seemed like a loser to me. Such a mystery. Redeem summon asteroids. Hmm. This next and the last set is by NSP Alba or at the Alba Mesa over on Twitter. They wanted to show off some more of their safe for work stuff. It's a large finger about to press into these two lucky climbers, I would say. I don't know. Would you guys consider it lucky if I were to touch you with my finger? I want to snooze these ads. He's Here's another one where this is her. Here's the Earth right here. Hello, little humans. I am Theana, your friendly giga-sized girlfriend, and welcome to my Ask Me Anything stream. Just write your questions in the chat and I'll answer them. Things like, oh goddess, how I want to jump into those tits. What size are they? Like 125 triple Earth? So, how do you breathe exactly? And, damn girl, you are big. We have to sandwich Earth between your tits someday. Keeping it extra safe, you know. You you in on all the you in on all this? And she was very happy at first, but now she is very surprised. I must have posted on the wrong thing. If you quickly post, Red, I can take a look. And of course, the same girl, but this time she's got herself a new ring with the earth in it as her rhinestone. That's a very good idea. Maybe I should do that to all of you. I think it'd keep you safe. Might send you some more art idea if you're okay with it. Sure, go for it, Kara. And then their last one, the giantess of the Boreal Valley. I can already hear the Dark Souls music starting. And we all know Miyazaki. It would be nothing but feet. It would be nothing but feet. You see these breasts, they're not going to do anything. It's all feet. Now, there might be messages all over that go, big chest ahead, but we know Miyazaki. Little Red, you posted stuff as well. Let me check. Oh, I've got some more actually to look at. It looks like it was on my retweet, so let me take a look at these. We have a few more to show off. One, two, three, four. The first four on this next set are by Sayer Raider, a new batch of drawings that he made lately. This is their kaiju girl in their true kaiju form and not in their humanoid. I want to play Bloodborne, and Bloodborne is sure is wrath. Here is a nice bunny girl taking a walk on the beach next to another one. Clearly, all eyes are on her, and she's going to be jealous. It doesn't matter if you're wearing a two-piece or not, because there's just so much to look at with her. Next one is another kaiju girl fighting against what looks like to be a hero. Who do you think's going to win in this? Is it the kaiju or will it be the hero? But they look like they're kind of having fun, so we'll have to see. Pictures technically it would be perfect with Neffy to be shown, but well, most of her art is not for Twitch's eyes. Yeah, yeah. And then last, but certainly not least, I'm sure you all saw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles uh, DLC for their game that's been out. This one was actually a thing that Callie wanted. Callie, did you commission this or suggest it? And Sayer was like, "I'm gonna do it." It was one of those two. My brain rot. I can't remember the character's name, but she is a uh Mona Lisa. Her name is Mona Lisa. She's a lizard lady. And she's not actually a giant, but in this case, she decided to drink a potion without checking some tests. And because of that, she is now stuck being very big. Santa show them the gameplay. Give me a little bit. I'm going to get through this art and then I will show off the gameplay if you remind me. Next up is from our lovely Fox girl. She had shared us some from Calciferion and from Hans. Here's the first one where she is laying in the background and the entire city. It's a fantastic view. I mean, both. Even Fox Girl, a great view. It's very, very nice open plains. All the trees. The city itself looks very beautiful at that size, but not as beautiful as she does. All of the tinies are looking off at her, seeing that beautiful blue eyes and that smile that probably killed most of those people. They just kind of fell over. It's too much for their hearts. And then the next one is her sitting in her throne over the city. Don't worry, all of the smoke and fires, they'll be put out eventually, with a Dooney in her lap getting head pats. This is by Prince Hans. That's a lot of tales. She is a goddess fox. What do you expect of a big kitsune? And, I'm sure all of you in my chat are jealous of Dooney. If you really think about it, the size difference here, Dooney is the size of those buildings. So, really, the people in that city should be on their knees worshiping this goddess and that fairy. Because if not, I mean, you never know. You never know what those two might do. All but I do know is no matter what happens with Fox Girl, all of those people, even if she decided to eat them all, crush them all, or any of that, they'll be back within a quick second. She is big, but she's not cruel. She's not cruel. This next set is by Little Red and Chat. Little Red did a picture of Dooney eating the earth. Tongue out. She doesn't look, it looks like she's disgusted by it. She doesn't look happy with the earth. It looks like she's like, ugh, gross. Tastes like pollution. This is cute. I'm not sure who this is. Is this Renee? Oh, I did not mean to get the ad break. Oh, it's true. It's true, Panda. That's Renee. This is Renee in a sub tub. This is her. This is our lovely little red at a concert. And then also being bigger than the band itself. Thank you, Little Red, for sharing these pictures. Very cute. Very cute. And the last one, being shrunken and giantess. Ah, D&D's over. And welcome back a little bit. We are closing out here soon. The last one is by Grow Tifa, as she is, I think she's being fed something. Put something being put in her mouth. She's very big. It's hard to be big, you know? You know how hard that is? Like, imagine me trying to get food, and it's like no matter what I do, like I go to a Burger King and I try to order something, and either they don't make enough for me, or I accidentally drop the whole thing in my mouth. Still not enough to eat though. Still not enough. I could use more. I could use more. Had trouble finding stage picks that would be good for science. Oh, I get you. I get you. And now I'm gonna shut this off. This is not Sizey. We're gonna end stream here in one moment. Callie asked me to show this off. Let me get this character. What game was it that she's in? Shredder's Revenge? I don't want to play too much of it. April, no. Mona Lisa. She is a character. She's not new. She's been in the Turtle stuff for a while, but she was brought back in a more recent game as a DLC character. Is this just... Oh, let me skip ahead. I can't find it. It says it has the Mona Lisa ending, but I'm not seeing it. Hmm. Could I just get this without too much sound? There she is. She's like this sassy lizard girl. Look at her walk. Look at her go. Look at her sass walk. Brain rot intensifies. She also has your hair, Callie. Which I mean, it's a ponytail hair, but like she has your hair. Santa's cosplay went. Oh wait, you would just be naked. Then it's true. I may or may not be having a pick. That makes sense. That makes sense. I knew you would. That's funny. Good for you. Good for you. All right, though, guys. It has been 2 hours for Sizeday Friday. A little over 2 hours. Usually these don't run as long as my normal streams, so I'm gonna kind of give a like, hey, heads up with some stream stuff, guys. Tuesday we will be back. We're gonna be playing some Sunhaven, just chatting and hanging out, and maybe some art. Maybe we'll do some more of the bit model. Who knows? Next week is not a Sizeday Friday, as this is a bi-weekly event. However, the next one we will have a guest again, so I hope you will look forward to that. Um, it should be a lot of fun. So not next Friday, but the Friday after. So be prepared. If you get any, remember to share the post out when it goes out to try to get as much size art that's safe for Twitch that I can show around, show people big or small. Try to get the word out. We want to get as much as we can. We like both bigs and smalls. Without the smalls, us bigs wouldn't have anything. It would just be wouldn't be giantess at that point. It would just be S. There's no giant if everyone's giant. But yes, we'll be back Tuesday, 7 p.m. EST. And I'm gonna find someone to raid. I want to see if there's someone that's size community esque. We don't want to send you guys to a normal person and be like, "Hi, I'm here with all of these people who we were just talking about shoving people between my tits and my ass cheeks." And then they'll go, "What? What are you talking about?" It doesn't look like. Oh, you're on. You're okay with size. At least you hang out with size people. Or do I raid you, who is the size person? You know what? I've never raided this person. And they are a size streamer. Um, this is AC Valens. We're gonna go raid them. They are playing a game called Lockdown Protocol right now. Start this raid. Here is my raid message, everyone. Gao Kaiju Attack, Santa's Love, Santa's Love, Santa's Love. Socials, check out my socials, my Twitter and my YouTube, and then check out my Discord. Join the Discord. The best interactions you will get with me that's not on stream is on Discord. Trust me. We have a very loving and accepting community. They share art, they talk, they hang out. You will love being there. I love being there. I love you all. I do. So please come in and hang out. It should be loads of fun. But remember, next Tuesday, I will see you all. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Keep me in your mind. Keep yourselves in your mind. Keep safe. And I love you all. All right. Goodbye. Mwah.